What's going on, guys? My name is Lubcubs and welcome back to another video on the channel. Guys, today we are doing part 2 on making custom hats in Minecraft, and we are doing the custom model data to apply multiple hats to one carved pumpkin. Alright, let's hop into Blockbench and let's start with the next hat. So in the last video I had mentioned that we were going to include the members texture file for our hat. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to rename that to member, and I'm going to come up here to Blockbench and we're going to import an extruded texture. We're going to direct ourselves to our texture pack with our hat textures and that member file. Now this can get very large, so I'm kind of curious how it's going to do, but we're going to scan and import, and let me just hide these for now. So that created 250 cubes to make this. So this might not be the best option, but I do love how that turned out. Doesn't that look absolutely amazing? We're actually going to just leave that for now. I'm going to delete all of these pieces for this rocket ship. All right, now we're left with 115 pieces. So we cut out over 100 and what was that? 135 pieces from that one rocket, and now we're left with this pretty cool looking L logo. I do really like that. So what we're going to do is actually try to rotate this. We're going to hit transform rotate on the X axis. Perfect. But I think we are facing the wrong way actually, because north is that way. So we're going to undo that, transform, and rotate on the negative. Rotate that on the X axis, pull that up to here, but then we're going to also flip that on the X axis, so we're facing the right way now. And if I turn on those front two pieces, how did I, oh, I've got those all selected, so I flip those as well. Oops. Okay, so we've got that hat back in that position. We're going to select our member icon and just put it on top of the hat there. So I'm actually going to modify this a fair bit more before I release it onto the server, but we're just going for something super basics today, and I wanted to show you guys that extruded texture import, which is a really cool way to bring 2D models into the 3D space. Now we've got this lovely looking L logo on top of this hat. Let's export this as a new model. And we're actually going to go back to our models folder instead, create a new folder, and call this hats. Inside this hats folder, we'll call this member, and that is our member hat. Now before I actually show you guys adding the multiple hats, we're going to do one more hat quickly just so we can do 3 hats at least, and you can do this with as many hats as you want. I've got over 100 hats on our server, but we're going to just modify the colors of this hat to be red, and maybe a bit brighter, and purple. So let me quickly just make this look a little bit prettier. Good enough. And that is sitting perfectly on the hat. We don't have to adjust anything. So we're going to hit File, Export Block Item Model, and we're going to call this red hat. So we're back in our resource pack here. We're going to open up the assets and back into the models file, and we're going to actually bring this carved pumpkin file to our hats folder here, and we're going to rename this to blue hat. So now we have our 3 different hats. Now we need to have a custom model file for the carved pumpkin. So let me make one of those quickly and I'll show you guys what those are consisting of. So inside our models folder, we've got the items folder, right? And we have a carved pumpkin file here again. This is our custom model data. If I open this up, you'll see here I have 4 custom model datas, but technically we've got 3 for our hats and 1 for our carved pumpkin. Basically, if no custom model data is applied to the carved pumpkin, then it's got the carved pumpkin model, right? That's just with the default. Now we have all these other ones. If we have custom model data 1, 2, or 3, we're going to have a blue hat, a red hat, and a member. Now this hats here is just telling the resource pack where to pull the model from. And if you recall, we created a hats folder right here. So we've got hats and hats, blue hat, red hat, and member. And that is it. That's all you need to do for this to work. So now if we refresh this texture pack, a carved pumpkin should pop onto our head. Just like that. Now, how do I get the next one? That's actually super simple. You're going to do /give yourself or everybody, whatever, a carved pumpkin. And you're going to do a left curly bracket. I don't know the technical term for those. And we're going to do custom model data : let's start with 1. Custom model data 1. There it is in my hand. Custom model data 2. Custom model data 3. So there's something wrong with our hat models for custom data 2 and 3. We'll go back and take a look at those, but we do have our hat working for custom model data 1. Let's go check out the other ones. Okay, so for some reason, let's open this up. It decided to keep the same spacing that we had with our old hat, even though we edited that in the last file, but Blockbench didn't realize we edited that, so it kept the space in here. So what we're going to do is just add those spaces back in, hit save, and do the same thing for our member hat. And we're going to refresh. And it's as simple as that. This should work now, 100%. Bam. We have now got our red hat, which is actually looking super white. So did I not save the texture? Did I actually not save the texture? I don't think I saved the texture. Make sure. Yeah. So the texture didn't update. So one sec. We're just going to do a really quick job. When you hit save or export, it didn't save this texture. You need to hit this little save icon, and now that texture has been updated. So we can actually just refresh this one last time. And that's it. The hat has been updated with the texture. We can put on all 3 of these hats, and now we have custom hats on the server using the carved pumpkin. Oh yeah, I'm a member. Alright guys, now I'm really excited for this next part. We are going to start with animating this hat. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is doing a rocket ship takeoff from like inside the hat here and just like shooting out, and it will just keep repeating that over and over again. I think it'll look really cool, and yeah, let's hop into Blockbench and start making some hat models. So we're actually going to start with our member hat, of course. Yeah, we can discard that model, that's fine. We have our member's hat here. Now I need a rocket ship. I can go and build us a rocket ship, but I have already made one in the past. So let me just quickly show you guys a feature, and we can import a Java block item model. I'm going to go back to my server's resource pack, find my rocket, and import that. And the color's transferred over too. But what I want to make sure I do is take this rocket ship hat texture file from that other resource pack and implement it into the new resource packs. So let's just quickly go to that resource pack, Minecraft textures, hats, and we're looking for the rocket ship hat texture. Boom. And we're going to go back and back. And we're going to paste that right there. Now, just to make sure that the actual location has changed, I'm going to grab this hat texture and just place it right there. That will change the location that Blockbench is actually taking this texture file from. If I decide to, you know, paint a nice looking I need green line down the middle of this. Okay, it doesn't affect my rocket at all. And I actually hit save on that texture. You'll see it's kind of hard to see there. The texture actually has a green line down the center. We are now editing in the right location. Perfect. So I've got this rocket ship, right? Let me scale this down. We're going to scale this down to, you know, that's actually probably a good size right there. And we're going to rotate this. Make sure you're grabbing the right one. Yeah, that works. So how animations work in Minecraft block models and item models are how you animate each individual model file. So what I mean by that is I'm going to save a model file as frame 1 looking just like this. So that's what you'll see. Frame 2 will then look like this. The next hat model will look like that, and then so on and so forth. So I'm going to have probably 7 or 8 of these files where this rocket ship is actually just taking off. So I'm probably going to do a time lapse here, show you guys how this works. But what we're going to start with is we're going to go all the way back. And I just realized it's not going to look that great going on an angle like that because I can't get it to go straight in this direction. So I'm actually going to come back here, rotate this so it's straight again, and we're going to take off from behind the L actually. Just like that. So we're going to save this first model, export block item model, and we're going to actually create this new folder temporarily. We're going to delete all these later. And we're going to call this member 1. And now we're going to lift this up. Let's go up by 2 ticks. File, export block item model, member 2. Just because I think it will actually look really, really good, I'm going to try to make this thing look like it explodes almost. So what we're going to do is, on this next lift, we're actually going to start breaking some of these pieces apart. We're going to go like that. And we're going to save that. Until finally it's completely obliterated. And that's actually where we're going to end the final model. So we're going to export block model number 14. We got 14 different models here. Now, how do we animate them? Well, you can come to this website called Minecraft Model Animator. If you just Google block model animator, it's pretty sure it's the first one. I will leave the link down in the description. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit load resources and we're going to choose files. We're going to navigate to our hat folder that we created and we're going to actually import all of these. Now it's got 4 errors. It's just having a hard time finding the textures. That's fine. What we'll do is we'll come back here and load the textures. Everything's loaded. We're ready to go. Hit load and start dragging these in to the animator one by one. Ignoring how wonky this texture is looking, the animator is having a hard time rendering it. There's a lot of squares there, so that's to be expected. We can hit play, and you can actually see it taking off there and exploding. It does look like one of the texture files, or at least one of the model files, might be a little wonky. And if it's any of them, it's the very, very first one. So if I delete that, that did nothing. Also did nothing. So I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's just the render on the site. So that's fine. We'll test it out in Minecraft and see how it looks. But what we're going to do is we're going to export this animation. Now, you can just do it as default because we're going to change everything here after. So in your downloads folder, you would have had the animated model member 1. I just dragged it over here to our hat folder where we're working, and I'm going to extract all of that. There it is here. So now I can now delete this folder, and we're going to work inside here. Our model file that's called glass is actually our hat model. So we're going to copy that and we're going to go back to our hats folder and just paste it right there. Glass. Now if I open this up, it's pointing for the textures to block member 1. I'm just going to change this to hat textures member 1. Perfect. Now we're going to go into that animated model folder, grab the textures, and these are the two things we need. That's 5 megabytes. It is a really big texture. We have a lot of animations. There is a solid chance that this just isn't going to work in Minecraft at all, but we're going to give it a go. So I'm going to go to Minecraft, our hats, go back to our textures, hat textures, and paste that in. Now, we can test this out. We can go for here and drag this glass. We're actually going to rename this to Animated, Anim, Member. I'm going to drag this into Blockbench. If it finds the folder and the texture, it should load it here. Oh boy, 1,874 cubes. Yeah, this is a big file. Blockbench is not happy. Blockbench just isn't having it. We're gonna ignore Blockbench, and we're going to try to add this in. So I'm just gonna copy that quickly. We can now delete this animated model folder. I'll leave new folder for now in case we made our file too big and Minecraft doesn't like it. We're gonna go back to our custom model data folder. I'm just gonna paste this down here for now so I remember what the name is. I'm going to copy these two, this line and that comma, and just paste it right there. Change our custom model data to 4, and I'm going to copy that and paste it there. Now custom model data 4 should be our animated hat. Let's refresh the game, and I am pretty sure this is not going to work. I feel like it's going to be too big. So we're going to give Carved Pumpkin custom model data 4. Oh my goodness, it actually works. So it's a little glitchy. The file's a little big. Something is definitely wrong with one of the model files, but look at the rocket ship from behind. It is taking off. That is our animated hat. The glitchiness might just be because one of the files got corrupted, but yeah, I honestly don't know what it's caused from because we checked each one individually and they were all fine. So it might just be because it's such a large file that it's trying to load it each time it, like, you know, animates. One thing that I've noticed is the hat's really small, so we can modify this. So let's see if that ever did load in Blockbench. It did. Oh boy, I can't do anything. Okay, we're going to close Blockbench, and we're going to try to modify the display properties through like the actual file here. So if I scroll down to the bottom, typically this is where your display properties are. Right here, so you have display, third person, right hand, all this stuff. I'm actually going to save that for a second. Open up our blue hat, head down to the display properties, and this is, let's see if it's the same. So on our head, scale 1.44 all the way across. On our head, it is not the same, so I want them to look the exact same. So I'm actually going to copy from display all the way down to that last curly bracket. I'm going to do the same thing here, all the way down to that last curly bracket. Yeah, we're going to hit save, and we're going to hit refresh. And that is now the perfect size hat on our head. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys think of the channel, what you guys think of this video and other things like that. If you want to see more tutorials in Minecraft, let me know with a suggestion in the comment section below. But guys, most importantly, don't forget to have a lovely day. Bye guys!